So these are two posters from the neo-noir LA Confidential. I'm just going to talk through what I analysed and what I saw as neo and film noir. So I'd say it involves quite a number of elements which are codes of conventions of film noir. Firstly, the femme fatale in the left-hand corner she's given the biggest part of the frame, which could represent her power and dominance over the other characters in the film. As she's only the major female in the film, she's sort of given a major role in that aspect. She's also dressed in a traditional femme fatale way. She had a lot of the iconography that you associate with a femme fatale. So she's in white, which has the connotations of innocence and purity. So the film's juxtaposing that idea and hiding her true character, as she's really femme fatales normally really evil and the opposite to the colour white, really. So they're using the themes of deception and hiding people's identities, which are common in film noirs, by dressing her in white. The low cut of the dress and the red lipstick also reflects sort of the seductive manner that she'd have, as red is associated with sort of evil and death, and it's a colour of a warning as well, as if they're trying to warn people that she's dangerous. And also she just looks quite seductive, like a traditional femme fatale would be. She's also got the blonde curly hair, which is another convention of the femme fatale, and they need to be pretty in order to seduce the men to do what they want. So she's exactly what you'd expect of a femme fatale, really. And then in the rest of the poster, you've got the three main men in the film. They've subverted the usual traditions you get in a film noir. In this neo-noir, they've got three protagonists instead of just a traditional one. All three men are dressed in suits, which has the connotations of wealth and class. A lot of the protagonists in film noirs are normally in suits, so they've kept that tradition going. They're also off-centre and given less of a frame, so they're less of a focus compared to the femme fatale, and they sort of are ranked in order of importance. So Bud is nearest to the front. He's the biggest protagonist, really, and given the biggest amount of the frame. So it's quite good at showing you who's the proximities of the characters and who's important and who's not. I'd say also you've got the text on the image. You've got LA Confidential in a red font, which again links with her red lips, and also the cast names, their surnames all in red. So the colour red is like a constant, especially with the femme fatale, which I've noticed in the film as well. She always has something red on, which would suggest that there's always a part of her that is evil, and there's always that bit in the film where they're trying to tell you that she is dangerous, and that they're warning the other men that she's dangerous. You've also got the Hollywood sign in the background, so the poster gives you an idea of the setting, where it's set, where it's based, and you've got the palm trees as well, which again is all associated with the Hollywood style. So you've got that idea that it's a big show, and they're big sort of the Hollywood style that they have out there. And also it's set in like a sunset, and normally with sunsets and nighttime coming, you associate the night with danger and evil and when bad things appear. So you've got that hint there as well, that the audience might not realise they're getting, that it's mostly set at night when dangerous things may happen, so these characters are probably all dangerous in some way. So it's a very clever poster, actually. They're all giving direct address to the camera, so you've got that the audience feel like they're part of the film, and it's important to them. It draws their attention to the poster, and like a traditional poster, you've got all the text at the bottom telling you who's in it and who's directed it and stuff like that, and it's very effective. And then the second poster here, you've got again the femme fatale having the biggest part of the frame, to again associate her as a very dominant and powerful character in the film. Again, she's dressed in white, so you can analyse that again as the connotations of innocence and purity. However, it's juxtaposed with the low cut of the dress, which creates sort of a seductive look to the dress, and shows you the sort of themes of hiding her identity and deception. Again, she's got the red lips and the long blonde hair, which are all associated with the iconography of femme fatale. This time the fonts of the text are in white, so you can again associate that with and link that to her with the white dress, so the idea of innocence and purity. So they're trying to confuse the audience by making it seem more innocent than it is. It's they're trying to create enigma codes, which is another common theme in film noirs. All the actors' names are also in white, so you've got that to link with the text of the title, again suggesting sort of it's not as they're sort of trying to hide from you what the true meaning of the film. She looks quite wealthy, laying on like some sort of throne, like white chair. So again, you can attach her to wealth and power. Then you've got the pictures of the men on the table. So the use of the images, you can see the actors' faces and who they are and who's famous, but they're given a lot of less of the frame, and the fact that pictures are not actually there again shows that they're inferior to her. The idea that she's in power has their faces, but you don't actually see the real person in this image. So again, she is the dominant character in the film. You've also got the use of the metal tray, which is making a reflection of her face in the lower part of the frame of this poster. So you can analyse that as the idea of two personalities. They use reflections to show sort of the two sides to a personality. So again, the idea of deception. She's part good, part bad. Again, hiding most likely from the men who are also on the reflection side of the mirror, who she really is. So you've got the director address from her. That's her true character, and she looks quite stern and seductive at the same time. And that's her true self. But the reflection, she looks sort of, it's her other side, her other personality, which the three men are seeing in her. Sort of her reflection. They don't see the full self, which is normally what you get with a femme fatale. She normally hides herself behind something. And again, I think this is quite clever with the use of the photos. You've got sort of the media idea there as well. But the film, it has a lot of use of media, like transitions with newspapers and things like that, where they've used images as a way of moving time on. And the whole film is about the media and the fact they hide the corruption and what really goes on in the police force from the general public in the film. So the use of the photos again associates that mediated idea that you're going to get in the film as well, so the audience are given more than they realise. And then this is another poster I found from the film. Again, the main focus on this poster is of the femme fatale. This time her expression is less fierce, she looks a bit more vulnerable, and instead she looks sort of worried on the phone. I also love the use of the mirror in this poster. Again, it creates a reflection, like the previous poster did, of her face, and represents the idea of that she has two personalities, one that's good and one that's bad. I think that's really clever with this film, is the fact that she's looking in different ways in the reflection. So you've really got the idea that she's two different people. One, whoever she's talking to on the phone, she's looking straight ahead, and the other, she's turned her head to sort of reflect the one that's good and the one that's bad. You've also got the reflection in sort of the shadows, which makes her face look darker and create shadows on her face as well. So you've got the idea of hiding away and the enigma codes and hints, and you don't know what's to come. I'd say again she has the stereotypical look of a femme fatale. She's got the red nails, this time you can see a bit clearer, and the lips again, so you've got the link of the red title as well, the red text in this poster, so you link it to her, and the idea of the connotations of red with the warning and the danger aspects to it, and it sort of hints to the themes in the film as well. And overall I think it's a really clever poster. Again, she's dressed in sort of a light coloured, I think it's white clothing, so you can analyse that again as the sort of innocence and purity ideas behind her character. And in fact she's not, because in the other frame it looks a lot darker, meaning the other reflection, sorry, it looks a lot darker, so you can analyse that as sort of that she is dangerous and isn't as good as she makes out.